The biggest secret from the world of Yellowstone may finally be coming to light, and Season 2 of Marshals could change everything we thought we knew. After a shocking finale filled with betrayal, hidden motives, and a dangerous journey to Texas, Tate Dutton is walking straight into a world where every decision can change his future forever. But the biggest question is not just what Tate will discover, it is who he can trust, when the people closest to him may be hiding the truth. The ending of Season 1 left fans with one massive mystery. Tom's real intentions were finally revealed, and the man who seemed like an ally turned out to be connected to a much bigger game. While Tate believed he was heading toward a new beginning in Texas, viewers knew there was something darker waiting for him. Now, Season 2 promises to bring the story closer to the Yellowstone universe, and one unexpected meeting could change everything. Tate arriving in Texas opens the door for a major connection with the Dutton family legacy. The moment fans have been waiting for may finally happen when Tate crosses paths with familiar faces like Jimmy and Rip. These are not just simple meetings. These are moments that could reveal hidden truths, create new conflicts, and force Tate to understand the dangerous world his family has been fighting against for generations. When Season 2 begins, Tate Dutton is no longer just the young boy trying to escape the pain of his past. He is stepping into a much bigger story where family, loyalty, and survival are more important than ever. After everything he experienced in Montana, Tate's move to Texas may look like a fresh start, but the truth is that he may have walked into an even bigger battle. The biggest mystery surrounding Tate's journey is Tom. For most of the season, Tom appeared to be someone who wanted to help protect the people around him, but the finale completely changed the way fans see him. The shocking reveal showed that Tom was connected to the chaos happening behind the scenes, and suddenly, every action he took became suspicious. The question now is what Tom truly wants from Tate. Is Tate just part of a bigger plan, or does Tom actually believe he is protecting him? This is what makes Season 2 so interesting, because the villain may not be as simple as everyone expected. There could be a much deeper reason behind Tom's decisions, and Tate may be the key to uncovering the truth. But the biggest problem for Tom is that Tate carries the Dutton name. Anyone who knows the Dutton family understands that they do not ignore threats. They protect their own, no matter how far away they are. And when Tate enters Texas, he may find himself surrounded by people who understand exactly how dangerous these situations can become. This is where the possible meeting with Jimmy and Rip becomes extremely important. Jimmy has already proven that he can survive difficult situations and build a new life away from Montana. His journey from a struggling cowboy to someone who found his place in Texas mirrors Tate's own search for identity. Jimmy understands what it means to leave one life behind and start another. For Tate, meeting Jimmy could provide more than just guidance. Jimmy knows the Dutton family better than most people outside Montana. He understands their struggles, their enemies, and the sacrifices they have made to protect their land. If Tate begins questioning Tom's intentions, Jimmy may become one of the first people who helps him see the bigger picture. But the most exciting possibility is Rip Wheeler's involvement. Rip has always been one of the strongest protectors of the Dutton family. His loyalty has never been questioned, and when someone threatens the people he loves, Rip does not wait for permission to act. If Rip learns that Tate is in danger, things could become very serious for Tom. Rip is not someone who makes empty promises. He knows how to handle enemies, and he understands the cost of betrayal. A confrontation between Rip and Tom could become one of the most intense moments of the entire season. However, Tate's situation is complicated because he may not want anyone fighting his battles for him. After losing so much and experiencing so much pain, Tate may try to prove that he is stronger than people think. He may want to understand the truth himself instead of simply being protected by his family. This creates an interesting conflict because Tate is caught between two worlds. On one side, he has the Dutton legacy behind him. On the other side, he is trying to create his own path. Season 2 could explore whether Tate chooses to follow the traditions of his family or create a different future. The Texas storyline could also bring back the themes that made Yellowstone so powerful. The fight for land, power, and control could become the center of the story again. Texas is not just a new location. It represents a completely different battlefield with different enemies and different rules. And somewhere in the middle of all this is the question that fans cannot ignore. Does Tate know more than he is telling everyone? After everything that happened, he may have learned valuable lessons about trust and survival. The innocent child from before may no longer exist. As Tate gets closer to the truth, every relationship around him will be tested. Tom's secrets, Jimmy's loyalty, and Rip's protection will all collide in a story where one wrong decision could create consequences that last for years. Season 2 is shaping up to be a major turning point. Tate's journey to Texas may not just reveal the truth about Tom, it may reveal what kind of person Tate Dutton will become. The arrival of Tate in Texas could become the moment that connects two different generations of the Dutton story. For a long time, fans have wondered how the younger generation will carry the weight of the Dutton name, and Season 2 may finally begin answering that question. Tate is not just a character searching for answers. He represents the future of a family that has spent decades fighting enemies from every direction. But before Tate can understand what his future looks like, he may first need to understand the people who came before him. This is where Rip and Jimmy become extremely important. Both characters have completely different experiences, but they share one thing in common. They know what it means to survive in the Dutton world. Jimmy's journey has always been about proving himself. When fans first met him, he was someone who constantly made mistakes and struggled to find his place. But over time, he became someone who earned respect through hard work and loyalty. His move to Texas changed his life, and now he may become the person who helps Tate understand that a new beginning is possible. The connection between Jimmy and Tate could be one of the most surprising parts of Season 2. Jimmy knows what it feels like to be underestimated. He knows what it means to enter a dangerous world without fully understanding the rules. Because of that, he may see something in Tate that others cannot. Tate has grown up surrounded by violence, loss, and family conflict. He has seen things that most people his age would never experience. Jimmy may recognize that pain because he also had to learn difficult lessons before becoming the person he is today. But while Jimmy may offer guidance, Rip represents something completely different. Rip is not someone who teaches through words. He teaches through action. His entire life has been built around loyalty, protection, and doing whatever is necessary to defend the people he considers family. That is why Rip finding out about Tate's situation could completely change the direction of the story. If Rip believes Tom is using Tate or putting him in danger, there is no doubt that he will respond. Rip has always been willing to cross any line when it comes to protecting the Dutton family. The interesting part is that Tate may not fully understand Rip's methods. To Tate, Rip may seem like someone from an older generation who solves problems through fear and intimidation. But as the story develops, Tate may realize that Rip's actions come from loyalty rather than cruelty. This could create a powerful relationship between them. Rip has always been connected to the Dutton family through his loyalty to John and Beth, but his bond with Tate could show a different side of his character. Instead of just being the protector, Rip may become a mentor figure for Tate. However, the biggest challenge will be whether Rip arrives too late. Tom has already gained Tate's trust, and that makes the situation dangerous. The hardest battles are not always physical. Sometimes the biggest threats come from people who know exactly how to manipulate emotions. Tom understands that Tate has been through trauma. He understands that Tate wants stability and a chance to move forward. If Tom uses that weakness, Tate could find himself defending someone who does not deserve his loyalty. But the Dutton family has always been good at recognizing danger. They may not always agree with each other, but when one of their own is threatened, they unite quickly. This is why Tate's connection with Rip and Jimmy could become the turning point of the entire season. Another major question is how Beth and the rest of the Dutton family will react once they learn what is happening in Texas. Tate is not just another member of the family. He is the son of Case and Monica, and his safety means everything. Case has already experienced unimaginable loss, and knowing that Tate may be caught in another dangerous situation could push him into action. The emotional side of this story could become just as powerful as the action and suspense. Season 2 may also explore how much Tate remembers about the pain his family has faced. Losing Monica changed everything for him and Case. That tragedy shaped who he became. Now, being surrounded by new dangers may force Tate to decide whether he wants to continue running from the past or finally confront it. The Texas setting creates a perfect environment for this conflict. Unlike Montana, where the Duttons have history and influence, Texas presents a different challenge. There are new alliances, new enemies, and new power struggles. This means Tate cannot simply rely on the family name. He will have to learn how to survive on his own. Meeting Jimmy may show him the value of patience and hard work, while meeting Rip may show him the importance of loyalty and strength. But the biggest mystery remains Tom. If Rip and Jimmy begin asking questions, they may discover things that even Tate does not know. The truth about Tom's plan could completely destroy the trust that has been built between them. And when that truth finally comes out, Tate will have one of the hardest decisions of his life. Will he believe the person who helped him during a difficult time, or will he trust the family that has protected him his entire life? That choice could define Tate's future. Because in the world of the Duttons, every decision has a price, every alliance has consequences, and every betrayal creates a war. The biggest mystery waiting for answers in Season 2 is not just what happens to Tate in Texas. It is the truth behind Tom's plan. The finale completely changed the way fans viewed him. Someone who appeared to be a helpful figure suddenly became the person connected to the chaos that damaged so many lives. But the most dangerous villains are not always the ones who show their true intentions immediately. Sometimes the most dangerous people are the ones who make others believe they are doing the right thing. And that is exactly what makes Tom such an interesting character heading into the new season. The question is whether Tom is truly a villain, or if there is something much bigger happening behind the scenes. His actions have created countless questions. Why did he make certain decisions? Why did he become involved with Tate? And what does he actually want from the Dutton family? Season 2 could finally reveal the answers. One possibility is that Tom is trying to build something bigger than anyone realizes. His connection to Texas may not simply be about business or power. It could be connected to a much larger battle involving land, money, and influence. These are the same forces that have always surrounded the Dutton family. The difference is that this time, Tate is standing in the middle of it. Tate may not realize it yet, but his last name makes him extremely valuable to people who want control. The Dutton legacy carries power, and anyone who can influence Tate may believe they have a way to influence the future. This is why Tom's relationship with Tate becomes so complicated. If Tom truly has a hidden agenda, then gaining Tate's trust may have been part of the plan from the beginning. But if there is another reason behind his actions, then the truth could be much more surprising. The writers have created a situation where fans cannot completely understand Tom yet. Every character around him has reasons to question him, but there may still be pieces of the story that have not been revealed. This uncertainty creates one of the biggest tensions of the upcoming season. Because while Tom may believe he is in control, he may have underestimated the people protecting Tate. Rip Wheeler is not someone who accepts unanswered questions. When he feels that something is wrong, he investigates. He watches. He waits. And when he finally makes a move, it usually changes everything. If Rip discovers that Tom has been manipulating Tate, the consequences could be serious. Tom may believe he understands the Dutton family, but understanding them and surviving against them are two completely different things. Jimmy could also become an important part of uncovering the truth. Unlike Rip, Jimmy approaches problems differently. He does not rely on fear or intimidation. He uses experience and common sense. After everything he went through, Jimmy has learned how to recognize people who are not being honest. This could make him one of the first people to notice that something about Tom does not add up. The interesting part is that Jimmy and Rip together create a powerful combination. Jimmy understands Texas and the life Tate is entering, while Rip understands the dangers of the Dutton world. Together, they could become the biggest obstacle standing between Tom and whatever plan he has. But Tom's biggest weapon may not be strength. It may be information. The Dutton family has always had enemies because of their secrets. Everyone has something they want to protect. Everyone has something they fear losing. If Tom knows those weaknesses, he could use them against the family. And this is where Tate becomes even more important. Tate is young, but he has already experienced situations that changed him forever. He understands that people can lie. He understands that even the people you trust can disappear. This emotional experience may help him see things that others overlook. However, there is also a danger. Because Tate has lost so much, he may desperately want to believe that Tom is someone who genuinely cares about him. That emotional connection could make it harder for him to accept the truth. this could become one of the most heartbreaking parts of Season 2. Tate may have to choose between the person who gave him hope during a difficult time and the family that has always protected him. No matter what decision he makes, someone is going to get hurt. Meanwhile, the possibility of a bigger Yellowstone connection continues to grow. Texas has always been an important part of the Dutton story, and Season 2 could use this setting to bring different characters and stories together. Jimmy's presence already connects this world to the wider Dutton universe. If Rip enters the story, that connection becomes even stronger. Suddenly, Tate's journey is no longer just a personal story. It becomes part of a much larger battle. A battle over loyalty, a battle over power, and a battle over the future of the Dutton name. The biggest question is what happens when Tom realizes that Tate is not as alone as he thought. Once Rip, Jimmy, and the rest of the family become involved, his plan could begin falling apart. But if Tom truly has a bigger purpose, he may have already prepared for that moment. And that is what makes Season 2 so unpredictable. Nobody knows who will make the first move, who will reveal the truth, and who will be forced to pay the price. Because in this world, trust is dangerous, and betrayal always comes with consequences. The most important journey in Season 2 may not be about a fight between families or a war over land. It may be about one young man trying to understand who he really is. Tate Dutton has spent his entire life caught between two different worlds. He carries the bloodline of the Dutton family, but he has also seen the pain that comes with that name. Now, in Texas, Tate has the chance to create a new identity, but the problem is that the past always follows the Duttons. No matter where they go, trouble seems to find them. And this time, the danger may not come from a stranger. It may come from someone Tate believes he can trust. That is what makes his relationship with Tom so complicated. For Tate, Tom may represent a fresh start. After losing Monica and dealing with everything that happened in Montana, Tate wants a life where he does not have to constantly think about violence and loss. He wants normal moments. He wants peace. He wants a future that is not controlled by the battles of previous generations. But the Dutton name rarely allows anyone to live a normal life. The more Tate learns about his family, the more he will understand that their strength comes from loyalty. The Duttons may fight among themselves, but when someone threatens their own, they stand together. This is something that Tate will eventually have to accept. The arrival of Rip and Jimmy could force Tate to confront a difficult truth. Sometimes protecting someone does not mean keeping them away from danger. Sometimes it means teaching them how to survive when danger arrives. Jimmy understands this better than anyone. His entire journey has been about transformation. He was once someone who needed protection, but he became someone capable of standing on his own. That experience could help Tate understand that becoming stronger does not mean losing his humanity. Jimmy may show Tate that there is another way to live the Dutton legacy. A person does not have to become cold or ruthless to survive. They can build something meaningful while still respecting where they came from. Rip, however, may teach Tate a completely different lesson. Rip knows that the world can be cruel. He understands that sometimes kindness is not enough. Sometimes people will take advantage of weakness, and sometimes survival requires making difficult choices. This difference between Jimmy and Rip could create an interesting conflict for Tate. One represents the possibility of building a new future. The other represents the reality of protecting what matters. And Tate will have to decide what kind of person he wants to become. Another major question is how Case will react once he discovers what is really happening in Texas. Case has always struggled between two sides of himself. He wants peace, but he also understands the violence needed to protect his family. The loss of Monica changed him forever. Tate is the last connection he has to that part of his life. And knowing that his son may be in danger could awaken the side of Case that fans know very well. If Case joins the fight, Tom may realize that he has created a problem much bigger than he expected, because the Dutton family does not forget.